Hey guys, this is the professor, and lunch is over, so now it's time to move on to the dessert course. Now today, for dessert, we're going to have some small package of Grandma's mini cookies, a small container of applesauce, and of course the finishing touch is coffee. Now, I know what you're thinking. First of all, you're thinking that I'm going to boil up about a half canteen cup full of water, open one of these slim little packages of Nescafe Taster's Choice, stir it up, and our coffee is good to go. But that is not the kind of coffee that I'm talking about today. Today, I am talking about GI coffee. Now, GI coffee is the kind of coffee that my Uncle Russell and his crewmates made out behind their Sherman tank during World War II. Let me show you how they did it. First of all, we go over here to our little one-burner stove. In fact, they had a one-burner Coleman stove that they used at that time. We're going to light up our little Trangia once again. We still have some fuel left over from the lunch, and of course, as you notice here, you can't see the flame, but it is definitely working. Now we'll go ahead and put on our pot stand, keeping in mind there is some breeze out here, so you always want to turn the square part of your canteen stand toward the wind. Try to block as much of that wind as you can, and let's get on about 1/2 canteen cup full of water, or 8 fluid ounces. Now, the coffee packages say that one of those slim little packages makes about 6 ounces of coffee. Personally, I think that's a little strong for my taste, so I usually go with 8 ounces of water, and it turns out about right. What you would need to do is to adjust that quantity up or down to suit your own individual situation. Now, today, I am using one of my favorite coffees, which is my own ground mixture of 100% Colombian beans. That's 8 O'Clock brand. Now, I grind these every morning for breakfast, and so I just put some extra in my little container, but that was only ground just a few hours ago, and I think it's the best there is. Now, you can use any type of coffee you like. Just go ahead and add that directly to the water. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going to say there that you're going to get those grounds in your mouth when you drink it, and that's a very real possibility if that sort of thing bothers you. If it does, what you would want to do would be to take your coffee and put it into this little tea ball. Now, you've seen Rob use a tea ball like this to make his dandelion tea. It doesn't take up much space in your pack. It doesn't weigh very much. And so if you're really bothered about that, you can go ahead and put your coffee in that tea ball. Another thing we probably want to do here is to cover up our canteen cup. It'll probably come to the boil quicker if it's covered up, and so we'll turn it that way. Once again, if you got some wind out here, you can expect your boiling times to increase a little bit, and that's okay. We've got plenty of fuel, so if we run out, we'll just have to put in some more. Okay, while our coffee's coming to a boil, I'll show you another use for our newspaper that we bring with us on every trip. First of all, take your newspaper several thicknesses and have the fold down. Turn it up at least 3/4 of the way, leave a little space at the top, and crease it this way. Turn your newspaper over this way and fold in about thirds. What we're doing here is making a little cozy for our coffee, because as our coffee comes to the boil, we're going to need to let it brew for a while. And so what we'll do is we'll make a little coffee cozy, just the right size for our canteen cup, out of folded newspaper. And what we'll do then, as soon as that coffee comes to the boil, we'll put that in there and let it finish brewing. Okay guys, now look carefully here and you'll see that around the edges, the coffee's just beginning to boil. Now, we call this boiled coffee, but in fact, we really don't want that coffee to boil very much. The proper temperature for extracting coffee from the beans is 202 degrees Fahrenheit. And since water boils at 212, we don't want this to come to the full boil. So let's immediately get this off the heat. And what we'll do then is we'll snuff our stove here with our little simmer ring, and we'll go ahead, pop the lid on there, and let's get that coffee in our cozy, which we have prepared in advance. Our little cozy here. A folded newspaper is just the perfect size so that the canteen cup will fit down in there. And what we want to do then is to kind of look at our watch and time out about 10 minutes. Sometimes your lid doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. And what we'll do then for some additional insulation is I'll lay my gloves on the top of that, and we'll time 10 minutes on the watch. Okay guys, our coffee's been brewing out for about 10 minutes now, and so we look in there, we notice there are a few grounds still on the top of the coffee. So if we take up our canteen here, drop in a little cold water and sink those grounds, they'll be good to go. If you still have a few grounds on there, you can just kind of move those off to the side with your spoon, and you should be ready to open up your little package of Grandma's cookies and enjoy your coffee break out along the trail. Let's give it the test now and see what we got. Man, that's just as good as Uncle Russell made down behind that Sherman tank. This is the professor saying, see you soon.